Okay, hi guys. I'm here. I'm going to do worksheet 5 with you. So this is, I think this is week 8, task 4. And I'm going to go through single replacement questions with you. So you had this worksheet that had 11 single replacement questions on it. I'm going to do 3 of them with you, just walk you through a few so you can see how I would do it. So number 3. I'm just going to do 3, 6, 9, just random. It doesn't matter what ones I do. So iron 2 sulfide plus potassium. What do I do here? Well, I know that iron 2 is a metal and potassium's a metal. And I know that because they're both to the left of the staircase on the periodic table. And so what I have to know is potassium a quote-unquote better dancer? And is it going to boot out the iron? That's my question. So you're going to find an activity series. There's one on your PowerPoint. You can see whichever you can find it in a textbook. You can find it on the internet. It's called activity series of metals. So this potassium is definitely more reactive than the iron 2. So it's a better dancer. So it's going to bump the iron and he's getting a boot. So what do I left with? Potassium sulfide plus iron. Okay? So let's see what this looks like in a compound form. I'll move it over a bit this way so you can see a little better. Okay, so here's some scrap. Iron 2 sulfide. So iron 2, they told me I used iron 2. So Fe plus 2. Sulfide, you'll look on the periodic table. You'll see it here. S minus 2. Crisscrossed, you get Fe2S2. You have to bring that down a notch. FeS. Okay, you have to bring this down because it's 2 and 2. You have to reduce it to FeS. So we've got FeS as iron 2 sulfide plus potassium. There's no charge to potassium. You just look it up. It's an element. Boom, right there. Potassium, it's K. We're done. What does that yield? Potassium sulfide. Well, potassium is a +1. You can look that on the periodic table. We already looked up sulfide. It's a -2. So potassium sulfide is K2S. Plus iron, we just write Fe because it's just a metal and it's not a charge or anything. So now we have to look and we have to quickly balance this. Iron is 1 on this side. I've got 1 sulfur, I got 1 sulfur. I've got 2 potassium, I got 1 potassium. I put a 2 here and I'm done. Okay, so that was number 3. Let's do number 6. It says here zinc plus lead 4 chloride. What are we going to get? Well, we see the 2 metals. Zinc is a metal. Lead 4 is a metal. Is zinc a better dancer than lead? When you look at the activity series, yes, it is. Zinc is going to bump out lead. So I know on this side, I'm going to get zinc chloride plus lead, because zinc moved in on chloride and lead got the boot. Okay? And so now let's write this out. We'll have a little scrap section. Let's do this work. Zinc, well, that's easy. There's no charge. It's not with anything. You just write zinc. Plus lead 4 chloride. Well, they told us what they used. Pb plus 4. Chloride, Cl minus 1. Look those on the periodic table. You get PbCl4. So that's lead 4 chloride. We're moving on to zinc chloride. We'll go look up zinc. Zinc's a +2. Chloride is a -1. ZnCl2, that's what zinc chloride looks like. Plus lead, Pb. The only thing we have to check on our elements is are either of these single elements are super 7, zinc or lead. And we look at our super 7 and they are not. So we're good. Now we have to balance this. 1 zinc, 1 zinc, 1 lead, 1 lead, 2 chlorine, 4 chlorine. So if I make this side 4 chlorine, I've made that 2 zinc, and I got to put a 2 here. Okay? And we're balanced. Boom. Done. Okay? So hopefully this makes sense to you. That was number 6. Let's do number 9. 2, 6, 9. Let's write it down. Tin plus hydrochloric acid. Ooh, going back to the acids. Hydrochloric acid. Let's write it down. Do we know what to do? Go back to our little cheat sheet on our acids, hydro and ic. That meant it was an IDE to start because my ride has hydraulics. So hydro-ic was an IDE. So hydro and ic, there's the root right there, chlor, and it was an IDE. So hydrochloric, let's do some scrap work down here. Hydrochloric was chlor IDE. And what is always in the acids? Hydrogen. Hydrogen chloride. That's not where the hydro comes from. Hydrogens are in all the acids. So what does hydrogen chloride look like? Well, hydrogen's a +1, chloride's a -1. HCl. So that's what hydrochloric acid looks like. HCl. So hydrochloric acid can also be called hydrogen chloride. So that's easier for this. All right, so now let's figure out what we've got here. We've got tin as a metal and hydrogen acts like a metal here. So which is higher on the activity series? Tin. So tin is going to bump out the hydrogen. So tin is given the hydrogen the boot. So we're going to get tin chloride. And actually, we have to have been told in the question which tin we're using, and we're using tin 4. We're not told in the question, so if you did this question with tin 2, I would not mark it wrong, but I can see the answer key and they used it with tin 4. So somewhere we should have said use tin 4, okay? But they didn't. So it's tin 4 chloride, and then what gets left over? Hydrogen, right? Plus hydrogen. So hydrogen got the boot. All right, so let's look what this looks like after we've scrapped it out. So tin is going to bump the hydrogen. Let's see what this looks like. Well, tin is SN. I know that's strange, but that's what it is. Plus HCl, we already saw that. Yields tin. I told you it was 4, so tin 4 chloride. So tin 4 is SN plus 4 with the chloride. So it's SnCl4. That's what tin 4 looks like. Plus hydrogen, which is an H, but we always have to look. Is tin one of our super 7? No. But is hydrogen? Yes. So it's always a diatomic. So this is our formula. Now we have to balance it. 1 tin, 1 tin. 1 hydrogen, 2 hydrogen. So we've got to put a 2 here. Now I've got 2 chlorine and 4 chlorine. So I really got to make this a 4. This is why it's good to do this in pencil. So then I have to make this a 2. So I've got 4 hydrogen, 4 hydrogen. 4 chlorine, 4 chlorine. 1 tin, 1 tin. And we are balanced. Okay, so hopefully you can see this and get the hang of it. Yeah, finish out this sheet, check your answers, call me if you need me, set up a one-on-one. Okay, bye-bye.